Man Hour Nation brought to you by Brooks Roofing and Siding. Contact them at 812-868-7663 or online at brooksroofingin.com. Brooks Roofing and Siding, protection you need when nature strikes.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckasha here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com and check out blogs out over there. Check out the merchandise over there as well. Head over to youtube.com/Man Hour and become a member over there as we do the after show Monday through Thursday over there. You can become a member for $9.99. You get a hoodie every year you're part of the Man Hour Nation. For $2.99, you can get every after show footage, and for 99 cents, you get one after show a week. So we do have some show happening tonight. We got some sports happening. We're going to be breaking down the NFC West. That's the 49ers, Seahawks, Cardinals, and Rams. So we will be breaking down their schedule, some key games there. And we got a new game going in there. We're going to do some sports improv tonight here at the hour number 2. And, of course, we got the world infamous What Does, because it is Wednesday. And speaking of Wednesday, Man Hour _Tori. Mr. Tori Anderson is on the show for us tonight. What's going on, Tori?
I mean, it is Wednesday. I had to put the W on my head so I knew what day of the week it was. So
and your left boob too,
and my left boob.
Yeah. So,
but that's just because all I do is win.
All I do is win.
No matter what.
Yeah, no matter what. So we do have some people popping in the chat here. What is up, Nana? What is up, Stacy? Thank you guys for becoming loyal members over here on the Man Hour. And if you guys will look at the YouTube page here, you will see my name over there, Michael Buckheister, and my logo next to my name has changed. And that is because I have been a member for more than a month here on Man Hour. So every month you are part of the Man Hour Nation, you get a new logo. So Nana and Stacy, you guys are a few days away. Tori, you should also have a new logo over there as well. So I mean, guys,
do.
Yeah,
my payment came out today.
Oh, there we go. Bam.
I support my own brand.
Yeah, and I do too. So I mean, what do they say? You have to invest in yourself before other people will invest into you. So
in order to make money, you got to spend money.
Yeah, and that is why we do have Man Hour merch, guys. So I mean, I usually wear a T-shirt almost every day. Tori got his T-shirt in the mail. Monday, right?
No, yesterday.
Yeah. So
it's
Tuesday.
in the wash. It's in the wash, and I got to wash it first.
Yeah,
I'm one of those people that I can't wear it right away.
I mean, I'm not trying to dog our merch by any means, but just putting a new shirt on without being washed, it seems weird to me. Like, I mean, like there are some stuff that I've done in my life. You know, like I ate pizza off of the counter that was there for Friday night, and you know, like it's Tuesday, and like I'm hungry, and I'll eat it. You know, I will pick a fork up off the floor and wipe it off with my shirt. Oh, it is good to go. I will, take a glass that has milk in it sitting overnight, dump it out and just rinse it out with some water and, put some juice in it, and it is good to go. But I will not wear an unwashed shirt. I don't know what it is, Tori, but I will not wear an unwashed shirt.
I am 100% with you on that one. I will not wear it. It feels weird. It feels stiff.
Yeah.
Plus you got if you got sensitive skin, you know, like if the kid dies and the chemicals and all that stuff in there, you can have a reaction to that stuff too. And like, say you don't wash it and it does wash out a little bit and you walk outside and it starts raining on you. Guess what? Like I got the royal blue one. I now look like a Smurf.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, so guys, head over to manhourradio.com and check out the new merch. So Nana says she is the same way with us, Tori. But I got a question for you tonight. Like me and Combs, we have the same taste in music. You can throw anything at us and we have probably listened to it at some point in our life. Like if you listen to my Spotify, I have gangster rap, I have 90s country, I have that mumble rap crap that the kids listen to, and I got Baby Shark. So first things first, Tori, what is your favorite kind of music? Let the people into your brain there a little bit.
I am a straight metalhead. Like my motto was always, if it ain't loud and it ain't heavy, it ain't worth listening to. So I am a straight metalhead.
So we do have the Ladder in Life coming here in Louisville, Kentucky. I believe it's September time, like September 23rd to the 26th, if I'm not mistaken. There are some metalheads in there, but then you also got some rap music as well. So when you come down to Ladder in Life in a few months, are you going to just ignore the rap stuff like Snoop Dogg and MGK, or you're just going to be like heading over to the other stage and listen to those scream metal bands?
See, I'd probably go listen to the scream. It depends who's playing and at what time. So if there's nobody I really want to see besides, with the same time Snoop's playing, I would probably go see Snoop.
You want to listen to some gin and juice? Lean back.
well, I mean that's my stuff from when I was in school and stuff. So it's weird just because. So, and I have no clue how this lineup came. So it was Korn, Linkin Park, Less Than Jake, and Snoop Dogg were putting on a concert.
Yeah, I mean that's just a good mix, man.
Yeah, I agree. And so I don't know if you saw it when I put it in the chat, and I said, if Snoop's involved, I'm probably going to end up in the hospital because the last time Snoop was supposed to be with a bunch of heavy metal people, I almost died. So I said that would be my luck. So and it's like all my friends called me up, and all I can hear is Korn playing "Got the Life" in the background. I'm like, oh my god, this is so freaking awesome! No, I'm like, explicit.
So story time. How did you end up in the hospital?
So I had an ulcer that burst open. So some of you know, some of you may not. I'm diabetic, and I was not diabetic until that ulcer burst open. So I just I wrote it off to stress. I can tell you the exact moment that ulcer burst. We were in between. I was out playing golf. We were in between nines. We came in, had some lunch. I remember I stepped off the chair and I felt a pop. And I was like, ooh, that didn't feel very good. And so we went out and we played golf, and I did not play good. I played terrible because obviously at that time I did not know that there was bile leaking all over the inside of me. And so I'm like, oh. And my parents at that time lived on the golf course. And so I would always leave a uniform and stuff. I was still in corrections, and I would always leave a uniform at their house or two because there was a guest room, because there were some nights after golf league that I probably should not drive home, and I probably shouldn't have drove the golf cart home either. So went in there, told my parents, I'm just going to stay here tonight. I don't feel good, and slept. I got up the next morning for work. I made it to the bathroom, and the next thing I know, I was face down on the floor. Oh. And I'm like, ooh. So did the low crawl back to the bedroom, grabbed my cell phone, called work, and was like, yeah, I'm not coming in today. I think I might have to go to the hospital. So against my better judgment, I said, I'll wait till 8 o'clock and call my doctor to see if I can get in.
Yeah.
By lo and behold, by chance, they had a cancellation. It's like, yeah, we can get you in at 1. I can barely sit up at this point. And like I was sitting in a recliner and just rocking, because the rocking, for whatever, the pain didn't stay, because I was just swishing everything around then at that point. And I just remember my dad going, you're just faking this. I'm like, I don't think so, Dad. There's something wrong. And so I went to the appointment, and by the time I got there, my whole right side was all swelled up. And my doctor was like, we need to get you into the emergency room now. You're going in for surgery. They thought it was my gallbladder.
Wow.
They did the ultrasound, and they're like, yeah. So you have bile that leaked all over. It was all over my pancreas, my liver, my stomach, my gallbladder, and one of my kidneys. And I just remember they finally got me into a room, and they had given me so much morphine, and it did nothing. And the nurse, I just remember the one nurse coming in and she's just kind of stomping them. Like, she's like, do you know how close you were to dying? She's like, you were within a couple of hours of being dead. Your organs were being eaten by bile. I'm like, meh.
Wow.
So yes.
Absolutely crazy. So we do have some fantastic bands rolling through the chat line here. Nana says she loves some classic rock, some classic vinyl country. And then she throws in some light rap too. So she likes some rap. I mean, gangster granny over there, 100%. Right. And Stacy
Gangsters
says,
don't dance, we boogie.
Yeah. So Stacy comes in with Metallica. Seether is a cool lineup. That's a Friday night lineup. It's like
I will tell you, I've seen Seether, and it is hands down the best show I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
they are amazing in concert.
Seether and Five Finger Death Punch played at the last one that I went to in 2019, so it was a good lineup there too. Nana says some R&B, some Stained, and then Drew's like, or some AC/DC. There you go. AC/DC is a great band too. I mean, shoot.
How many people in your life have you ever met that said, I don't like AC/DC?
You see,
I met one person. They're like, I hate AC/DC. I'm like, how do you hate AC/DC?
I hang out with a lot of high school kids, so a lot of them don't really know who they are. I mean, they just know like the few songs, like, you know, Hell's Bells and stuff like that. So I mean, they're like, oh yeah, they're great. But I mean, I don't know if I know anybody that says they hated AC/DC.
Yeah.
So
I met one person in my life and I didn't know what to say, and I at that point determined I probably should not be friends with that person.
Yeah, 100%. So, Corey, we are going to take our first break of the night. Coming up after the break, we got the world infamous What Does coming up. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and rock out and get demonetized real quick. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Stevie Nicks, there we go. Chevelle.
Ooh.
Man, I love you guys in the chat right now. I mean, Stevie Nicks and Chevelle, AC/DC. Wow, man. You can't go wrong. I don't know who Steve Earle is. Do you know who Steve Earle is?
I don't know. I have never heard of him.
That must be like super old school, huh? I don't know. It's all good, guys. We're right back here on the Man Hour. What does coming up?
What is your name?
What?
What is your name?
Fuck!
Hey there, Mr. White T-shirt wearer dude.
Mr. White shirt wearer dude.
Do you wear the same shirt every day?
Same shirt every day.
Do you do the same thing every day?
The same thing every day.
Don't you worry, Mr. White shirt wearer dude. Now with Man Hour merch, you can spice up your style each and every day. From hats to beanies to shirts. We got you covered, Mr. White shirt wearer dude. Shop at manhourradio.com. T-shirts start at $15. Shop today.
Why, thank you, manhourradio.com, for this awesome merch. Hats, T-shirts, $15. You can't go wrong.
Pretty obvious in that one. Dak's coming back off. You got Tom Brady and did I mention 22 starters coming back?
When I say Lamar Jackson is trash, I'm not saying he is the worst quarterback in the league. But he is definitely not the best quarterback in the league. When you say somebody is trash, it is based off the perception of the general public.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Tori Anderson tonight. We could not see the commercial, so I was like really hoping it was playing. So I jumped over to the YouTube page, and you guys are still talking about the music, and that is just awesome. So let me know you guys' favorite song. So if you guys could, let me know what your favorite song is over there in the chat line, youtube.com/Man Hour. Stacy says country is amazing. Hit the back roads and just cruise. And Tori's like, what is country? So,
country is terrible. I will say it is the one form of music I cannot stand.
90s country is classic, man. 90s country, you can listen in 2075, it'll still be relevant. I mean, so yeah.
I don't know. Man. Didn't they come out with a song about like somebody thinking that their tractor's sexy or something? In the 90s,
they think my tractor's sexy. It really turns her on.
Oh, enough said right there.
My wife thinks my tractor's sexy. I jump on my bad boy mower, man. Anytime you can cut the grass at 40 miles an hour, man, come on. You know she thinks my tractor's sexy. Come on, man.
If you're not first, you're last.
Exactly. Let's is going to go out to the foreign countries that supply America consumers with these goods. So if you guys do not know by now, the American public, the American people, we are in a computer chip crisis right now, meaning that the automobiles can't be made, your cell phones can't be made, printer ink can't be made. Fun fact, did you guys know that there's a computer chip in your computer ink that tells it when it's low or not low? So with that being said, guys, stop dogging these companies that are laying people off for months at a time. They simply cannot make the products because there's no computer chips. Why? Because we outsource, the whole United States outsources the computer chip import from Argentina and Brazil. So if you want to blame anybody, blame Argentina. So all the people that are getting upset because said companies are laying people off, we don't have a choice. We got to do what we got to do. And right now, it is best for you to collect that unemployment with that extra $600 bonus each week. Calm down. You guys get the what, though?
My first what the other night is going to go to something you guys talked about and touched on last night. Tony La Russa coming out and defending the Minnesota Twins for hitting his player. Again, I know we talked about how the unwritten rules are dumb and it's old school mentality and it's stupid thinking. However, I don't care if somebody plunks my player, there's going to be something coming back at you. The fact that you put a pitcher in there. And Drew, I'm going to give you mad credit today. Drew had posted a thing on Facebook today of Mark Gray's pitching in 2002 for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and David Ross took him yard, just rocked it. And what did Grace do? He just looked and started laughing and shook his head. So, La Russa to come out and say, yeah, it's right that my guy got plunked. Yeah, no. Tony La Russa, get out of there, man. You get my what the.
My next what the of the night, it is going to go out to my friends that want to consistently sneak diss people. So, I mean, like, I do it out of fun, but, like, you guys know all exactly what I'm talking about. And, like, I'm not afraid to put a name to anything that I say. Like if I say something and you guys are going to say, ask who is that, I will, for 9 times out of 10, no. 10 out of 10 times I will tell you, just because simply I don't care. I mean, I back my words every time I say something, and I'm not going to back down from that or hide behind a keyboard. So all my friends from college and high school and playing professional sports and etc. and here in Southern Indiana, Guys, stop this sneak dissing crap. It is so stupid. If you want to talk crap behind somebody's back, whatever. Just stop it. This is so dumb. You guys get the what, though?
My second what the is going out to basically myself and my job. They have said that we're going to be changing our schedules back up. We're going to go to a hybrid situation for work, except my schedule takes me like 12 different directions. And so when I asked about which direction am I heading first, everybody looked at me and just went, huh? So I would like to give some of the people that don't actually know what I do for a living the what the. Come on, man. You get paid the big bucks that I don't get and I wish I had. You should at least know what I do every day.
My next what the other night, I'm going to stick to this whole real world situation here. And if you guys are living underneath a rock, selling houses is easy. Buying houses is a total shit show. So you almost have to buy a house unseen, unlooked at, inspected to even get considered an offer. So me and my wife put our house up on the market today. We had 12 offers roll through, and people want answers by 8 o'clock tonight. I don't get home from work until 6. We have dinner. We have time with kids. So you guys just need to pause and pump the brakes a little bit. On that same note, we placed an offer on a house. The house went on the market at 10 o'clock this morning. We looked at it at 10:30, and by noon, these persons came, or the said person came with a counteroffer. We already offered you $60,000 more than what it was worth. We are paying your closing costs. We are covering your escrow taxes and everything else. What do you want from us? You wanted a house for $260,000. We offered you $300,000. You still want more? Come on, housing market. You guys need to slow down and pump the brakes a little bit. Let's take us back to early 2000s. That'll be fantastic on this whole housing market. Housing market, you guys get the what the?
My next what the is going to go out to my beloved Milwaukee Brewers. So the Brewers lost again last night after taking 3 out of 4 from the Dodgers. They are now 4-10 in their last 14 games. Why are you ruining my what the, Buck? That hat needs to just go in the trash right there. I'm not going to lie, buddy.
My bad.
That's pretty dirty. So the Brewers have now scored 2 or less runs in 17 games this year. I believe this was the 6th or the 7th time already that they've been shut out. The Brewers offense, I knew was going to be anemic. I knew it was going to be a struggle. I thought we could scrape together maybe 1 or 2 runs a game. Every time our pitchers keep us in the game, they seem to not be able to hit. So Milwaukee Brewers offense, you get my what the tonight.
So my next what the of the night is going to go out to these car dealerships here in just the world in general. So this did not happen to me personally. I heard it through a grapevine through a friend, a good friend. So I know the story is very, very truthful here. But as you guys refer to my chip shortage earlier, the used car market is going up. The prices for used cars are going up. So my friend back in Kansas, he bought a used car. This was like a 2010 Ford F-150 truck. He put like $7,500 down on the truck plus a trade-in, and he got financing through said dealership. 2 days went past, and this dealership found out that Ford was shutting down. So therefore, they were no longer making new trucks for the next 2 months until the new 2022 trucks roll out. So therefore, the demand for used trucks is going through the roof because we're not making any. Like, that is just the way it is. So said dealership called my friend and said that his financing fell through and they had to return the truck. So my friend's like, wait a second, what is going on? I gave you $7,500 down payment. My credit's like $800. Like, he has a perfect career. I had to score, never missed a bill, never missed rent or nothing. He is money smart. So there is no reason why his financing should have fell through. So he actually contacted a lawyer, and this scam has been going around the world. So, or not the world, but the United States. So said dealerships are basically saying, we want the car back. So they say that the finance fell through, which it didn't, and they're keeping your down payment as rent for the truck or the car that like you bought used. So my what the is just kind of giving you guys a PSA for this new scam that is happening. It is not happening overseas. It is internal civil war happening right now with car dealerships. So guys, make sure you read the fine print of everything that you're signing. Like, just don't be stupid. And car dealerships, you guys get the what the stop screwing us, guys.
My final what the other night is going out to robocalls. I have about had it. I've seriously considered changing my phone number so I can get like 3 hours of peace and quiet. I already have my phone set up to block the number if it comes from a unlisted number, unknown, anything like that. I know they take all these preventions now where it'll tell you scam likely. It will tell you all the different stuff. At this point now, I just now answer the call and say things that I probably should not say to people and in very explicit terms just to see if I can get a reaction. And I will say I finally did it. I hit the holy grail. I had one of the guys just go off on me on the phone, and I would laughed the whole time. And I just said, I got done, and I said, I'm not gonna lie, dude, you're one of my favorite people in the world right now. And he just got he said, F you, and he hung up on me.
Love it, man. Absolutely love it.
Man Hour Nation brought to you by Brooks Roofing and Siding. Contact them at 812-868-7663 or online at brooksroofingin.com. Brooks Roofing and Siding, protection you need when nature strikes.
Welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckkoster along with Tori Anderson tonight. Sorry about that little delay. Like I said, we are not seeing the commercials on our screen tonight for some reason, and there's about a 10-second delay over on the YouTube, and I didn't realize that it came up. So my bad on that. But it is time to get into some sports talk, Tori, and we are going to get into some sports talk by breaking down the NFC West. So the NFC West, like obviously they have the let's see here. They have the what happened to my screen, man? What is going on?
They have the Arizona Cardinals,
Yeah,
they have the Seattle Seahawks, the Los Angeles Rams, and the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah. So we are going to start at the top here, Tori, and we are going to start with the Arizona Cardinals. So when you look at the Arizona Cardinals schedule here, the full 17-game schedule, what couple games stand out at you the most?
So one, that division is probably the best division in all of football. Maybe the AFC West is probably the best, but actually the AFC and NFC West, I'm going to give them a 1 and a 1A for probably being the best divisions in football. So also, I tried to go away from conference games for this one just because their divisional games are going to be really good.
Right.
Basically are going to be coin flip games all year long. According to the playoff predictor, I have two teams kind of dominating the whole division. And then I think I have them actually all splitting, like almost everybody going like 3-3 in the division, with the exception of maybe one team. But I think I have two teams at 12-5, one at 11-6, and the worst one's at 8-9.
Yeah.
So I would say look no further than their Sunday afternoon game against the Cleveland Browns for the Cardinals. It'll be a good mid-year matchup for them against another pretty much Super Bowl contender team. It's a good measuring stick. It's what their 7th game of the year. So it's a good measuring stick to see where your team's at that time or that point in time during the year. I would circle that game as probably must-see TV if, both of those teams are at that point playing well and relatively healthy.
Right. So one game that I have circled here early in the season is that Week 8 matchup when the Green Bay Packers come into town, because I had the Green Bay Packers going 10-7, and I actually have the Arizona Cardinals going 9-8 this season. So I do have the Cardinals winning this particular game, but if they lose this game versus the Green Bay Packers, I could really see their season going downhill really, really quick, because after that they play a division rival in the 49ers. They and then they play a much improved Carolina Panthers team as well, and then they play another division foe in the Seattle Seahawks at the 12th man. So if they were to drop that game versus the Packers, I could see them dropping 4 games in a row easily going into the bye week there. And if you drop 4 games in a row, I have them that would be 3-7 going into the bye week there, and that's not good. That is not going to get you into the playoffs in the NFC. Struggling at a 9-8 record there. So, and then there's one other game that I have circled later in the season, and that is the Dallas Cowboys game. Yes, people are saying the Dallas Cowboys aren't going to be very good. They are always very good on paper, but it never translates over into the actual field. But this year, I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to come out and they're going to execute. And I think the Cowboys kind of have revenge on their mind from last year when the Arizona Cardinals came into Texas State Stadium on Monday Night Football and they waxed that ass. So this is kind of like a revenge game for the Cowboys almost. But I do have the Cardinals winning this game. So Tori, besides that early season game, are there any other games that really just pop out at you and say, "Hey, I need to watch"?
I'm going to have to agree with you. Depending on how the Cowboys look, I expect they'll be much improved with Dak back. But yeah, late season matchup with the Cowboys is another good barometer for your team. And there again, by that point, you're going to know where you are as a team. You are going to know, are we going to the playoffs or are we not? That's the only thing I could see going sideways a little bit with this game is if they've got a really good record, they're locked into their seed, it's at no point does it make sense for them to play their starters. Then I could see them resting people. But if they're fighting for something, that's going to be a good late season matchup for them.
Yeah.
So I know you said that the Packer game too. Man, have you ever seen what happens when the Packers go to Arizona?
Yeah, I believe it was you. It was Lambeau
Field, Field Southwest. It's like 90% Packer fans because the Snowbirds leave Wisconsin and head to Arizona.
Right. Yeah. So what do you have your record as for the Arizona Cardinals?
I actually have them going 12-5 on the year.
12-5. Who are their 5 losses?
Oh, that's a great question. Thanks for asking. I thought
from merch and manhourradio.com. Check it out.
So we did that one website and you're like, make your thing and it saves all your stuff if you make an account. I made an account and I signed back in and it didn't save anything. It brought me back to week 1. So all I know is I got them going 12-5. I screenshotted my picks at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Just so I would remember who it was. So I think I have them losing at the Seahawks. I think I have them losing at the Rams. I have them losing at Dallas. I believe I have them losing to the Browns. And then I do believe I have them losing to the Packers.
And then you also said you had them splitting every game in the division, right?
Yeah, and I'm thinking that's what I did. Basically, I had them I had them winning the home games and losing the road games.
Yeah, and then I actually had them going 2-4 in the division, getting swept by the Rams. So something about that Rams team just has me really, really intrigued this season. So I am picking a lot of Rams wins, but I do have all the home teams winning as well. I do believe in the division. So one game that I think early in the season that is going to be a huge measuring stick is probably that week 1 matchup versus the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans are historically known for that great running game, run down your throat, King Henry 200 plus yards every game, let him touch the ball 25, 30 times a game. But the Cardinals defense, they added J.J. Watt and they drafted really well as well. Do you think this will be a measuring stick for that defense in that week 1 matchup, or is it still too early to tell after that point?
I think it's still too early to tell at that point, just because I see the Tennessee Titans being a huge team set up for regression this year. I think I have them picked to go like 7-10 this year. I just don't. I don't see all the hype. I think Ryan Tannehill has played out of his mind the last 2 years. He had one good year when he's in Miami, but then, but there again, it could be a whole system thing. But I don't see it. I think that they're going to realize that losing Corey Davis was a bigger hit at receiver for them than what they really realized, because it's been a team that has struggled to find a good receiver, and they finally got AJ Brown, and then they had Corey Davis, and now they lost Corey Davis. So I think this is a team that is set up to really struggle. But the good thing is it's probably a good confidence booster win. They're starting on the road for the Cardinals. It's a good confidence booster win, because anytime you can win a road game, it boosts your confidence. Right. And it is. It's a good test and a step for that defense to see how well they gelled.
Right. So the Cardinals did pick up some key veteran additions this offseason, 2 of which being James Conner and AJ Green on the offensive side of the ball. Last year we saw their offense, kind of be explosive at times, and then basically way below average, like at times as well. Does the addition of AJ Green and James Conner bring more stability to that offense?
I think more the addition of Conner than anything. There is just weapons galore still, even without Larry Fitzgerald there. I mean, they got Christian Kirk, they've got Andy Isabella, like they've got weapons to throw to in that offense. And I think James Conner is a good complement back. As I said, he's not an every down back. For as big as he is, he's not built to be an every down back. Right. But he could be a good first and second down back. You let Chase Edmonds come in on third down to be that receiving back, or that change of pace speed back. And as long as you spell Connor, you're going to be fine. And I think Chase Edmonds given the way that offense is designed as an air raid offense that Cliff Kingsbury ran, you're going to see a lot more Chase Edmonds out there anyways than James Conner. And I think that's actually going to benefit this offense because he's going to be able to get those tough yards when everything's all spread out and stuff like that. His life is actually going to be a lot easier. And I will say it's probably one of the more underrated signings in the league this year.
Okay, yeah, and then like looking at their draft as well, many people were saying that Rondale Moore was one of the steals of the draft. He is currently listed as the 4th receiver for the Arizona Cardinals. Do you see him making an impact for them at all this season? And if so, what kind of impact do you think he will have?
I don't know if it's going to be like a huge impact. I think if anything, it's more as like as a gimmick type player, like end around, jet sweeps, stuff like that, give and goes, whatever it is. I don't think they're going to – he's got the benefit of sitting behind some really good receivers and learning, which I don't care who you are as a young guy coming into the league. That is never a bad thing. As much as you're itching and you want to be out there and you want to be playing and you want to be helping your team win, watching, some of these guys that have been there for a couple of years and know what they're doing, is immeasurable because it instills that work ethic into you. And so that's where I think like the AJ Green signing is great because I'm guessing they're probably guessing Fitz is not coming back. So AJ Green was a great veteran presence signing for them to show the young guys this is how you do it. Kind of continue that Larry Fitzgerald legacy at that because those two, if you ask me, have almost the exact same work ethic.
Yeah, and just to add to that point, just the biggest learning curve in all of football from college to the NFL is clearly the quarterback, but second is the wide receiver. Simply because you have to learn how to run routes again. Like, they break it completely down and they make you learn how to run routes like again. And sometimes that takes you all off season. It could take you up to six years to really learn how to run a route. So Rondale Moore, the ability to sit behind DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, AJ Green, even Andy Isabel. I mean, like it is a great thing for them. So you have them going 12-5 on the season, correct?
I do.
And then I have them going 9-8, 2-4 in the division as well. So we will see where they fall, as we go through the rest of the picks here. And then the next team that we are going to be breaking down are the LA Rams. I mean, the LA Rams made some big off-season moves. They acquired, quote, their quarterback of the future in Matthew Stafford, even though, Matthew Stafford's been in the year for what, 8 or 9 years. But Jared Goff is gone. Matthew Stafford is in. Before we get into the games, what kind of trade does that impact on the Rams? Does that make them instantly better, worse, or kind of just the same in your eyes?
So the more I look into this and the more I look at the stats and the way things are, essentially all they did was trade for an older version of Jared Goff.
Right.
They throw interceptions at the same rate. That's like, 2.3 whatever, and they are comparatively stat wise for touchdowns and stuff. They're about the same, and Stafford benefited from having Megatron for a lot of years. I mean, Goff has had solid receivers, if not excellent receivers, his whole time in LA. So I think he just got older. The only thing that I think that they got better with is the decision making and the intuitiveness that Matthew Stafford's going to bring to that Rams offense versus what Goff had. I think Goff played with a lot of hesitation still.
Yeah, so I am a Matthew Stafford fan just because, I kind of figured he would finish his career in Detroit, maybe leading them to a playoff win, maybe 2 in the next 5 or 6 years. But now, being a Matthew Stafford fan, going toward the Rams here, and I want to emphasize that I'm a Matthew Stafford fan. I honestly think that the Rams took steps back by adding Matthew Stafford onto this team. Why? Because exactly what you said. Matthew Stafford is just an older version of Jared Goff, but now Matthew Stafford has to learn a brand new offense. With Jared Goff has been in there for 2 years, like Coach Sean McVay was there running his offense. So I mean, it is going to be a learning curve, and their schedule is not very favorable for them for that learning curve right off the bat here. So jumping into the 2021 LA Rams schedule here, when you look at it, what game jumps off the page at you right off the bat?
Oh, their week 3 matchup, even though it's a home game, but the Buccaneers come to town, and I said it. Yeah, I said it the other day, and I'll say it again today. As Ric Flair says, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man. So that's a great early season matchup. It's a great early season test for your team to see where you're at. That Buccaneers game could be a major confidence boost, or it could be a deflation of your entire ego.
Right. Yeah. And then like last night when we broke down the Detroit Lions here, that week 7 for the Detroit Lions popped out the page. But I want to iterate, it popped out the page for the Lions. This game does not pop off the page for the Rams. The game that popped out the page for me is that week 6 matchup when they play the New York Giants at Meadowlands. Why? Because I think the New York Giants are going to be a sleeper team. I think they are going to surprise a lot of people, and it would not surprise me if the New York Giants beat the LA Rams in New York. Because Tori, you are a big advocate of the time zone thing, which I am too. When you travel from the West Coast to the East Coast, your body is still 4 hours before time, and this is a 1 o'clock kickoff, and so you are thinking LA time 1 o'clock. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning, so you got to get on the field ready to play about 8 o'clock like in the morning. So that means you're getting up about 4:30 in the morning to get breakfast and stretched and tape and like all that stuff. So you are going to be tired. I mean, you are not going to turn it on till the second half, really, if you do turn it on at all that game. So that's the game that really popped off to the page at me right off the bat. And then the week 14 matchup as well, when the Rams go to Arizona. Like I think this is a Monday night game. So I mean it's a primetime game. All eyes are on you, and I think the winner of this game ultimately wins the division. So with that being said, I do have the Rams winning both of those games that I highlighted. So Tori, are there any other games that you besides that Bucs game that pop up at you?
Yeah, the week 16 matchup against the Ravens, just because of that defense. I don't care. Year in and year out, the Ravens are always going to have a good defense. So every year, it's a great way to test that time of year to test your mettle. If you are in that playoff hunt or you're going to the playoffs, it is a great way to see where you are at offensively, because whatever it is that the Ravens put in their water, they always have a great defense.
Right. So yeah, the Ravens. Do you have the Ravens winning that game?
I do, and because of the West Coast, East Coast thing.
Yeah.
So I actually have, because I have them actually going 11-6 this year.
Yeah. So the Rams actually come to the East Coast here 1, 2, 3 times, which those are long travels. I mean, you travel to Indianapolis, you travel to New York, and you travel to Baltimore, and you also travel to Green Bay. So, I mean, definitely a lot of miles on them this season. So, looking at the roster here, looking at the wide receiver core here, they added Deshaun Jackson to this already lethal wide receiver core. Well, I like let me put air quotes around that lethal this, because Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp, you would not put them probably in your top 10 receivers, but as a core, they are pretty good. So does Deshaun Jackson kind of make them that much better going into 2021?
I think he does. The guy's what, like 36, 37?
Yeah, he's old.
And he can still fly. The guy has wheels. The guy can still run like a 4.35 40. He can still run by almost any player on the field. So he's going to still stretch the field for them. And if they need him to go underneath, he's a tough receiver that will go underneath if he needs to. He is it's a veteran presence. The guy can still fly. It reminds me of Darryl Green from the Redskins when playing quarterback. The guy just never slowed down.
Right.
The guy was still burning people when he was like, I think he played till he was 38. And I think that's a lot of what Deshaun brings to that team. And he's gritty, he's tough. And like I said, he's not afraid to go make the tough catch. He's not afraid of anything when he gets on that football field. So I think, yes, it does. It makes them that much better because he's going to bring a different mentality to that receiver room.
So the Rams also lost their number one tight end to the New England Patriots in the offseason, basically promoting Tyler Higbee into that starting role there. Does that hurt them more than they realize going forward?
I don't think so. Just because the wide receivers are the star of that team. Tight ends these days are, I won't want to say a dime a dozen, but
they are either really good or really bad. There is no mediocre.
Yes.
Yeah.
But even back in the day, you played fantasy football. It used to be like if you had to start tight ends in your league, sometimes you'd have to draft them early because there's 2 good tight ends in the entire league. And I mean, at least nowadays there's like 9 or 10 of them that you can probably get pretty good production out of. So, I mean, it's changed a little bit, but I'll just drink because like Robert Tonyan for the Packers. Who the hell heard of Robert Tonyan before last year? And all of a sudden
Nobody.
He comes out and here I got caught 11 touchdowns.
100% correct.
So to me, it's almost a dime a dozen thing. You can make anybody look good in the right system.
Yeah. So speaking of looking good in the right system, this 3-4 defense that the Rams run, it has been dominant in recent past 2 years here. Aaron Donald has been arguably the MVP. Yes, he doesn't have any MVPs, but he has been the MVP of the league. And then they added some linebacker help as well throughout the draft. Is this Rams defense the best defense in the NFL going forward?
Yes, for at least the next 2 years, I would say yes. They are hands down the most. But you have you got Aaron Donald up front. You got not Jalen Ramsey. Who's their I can't think of his name. They traded Jalen Ramsey. They got another kid that's just a stud corner.
Leonard Floyd.
Leonard Floyd was a great pickup. The Bears probably are kicking themselves on that one. Leonard Floyd was a great. Yes, that's who it is, Darius Williams. And so they've got elite talent at all 3 levels to lead each of those units. Yep. And I don't care who you are, you can have average players. If you get an elite player at all 3 levels, it's going to bring up the play of those other players next to them. So, it's the typical, that guy only looked good at receiver because XYZ was their quarterback. It can be the same thing with defensive players. When you play next to elite talent, it pushes you to play just that little bit extra more because you're seeing what they're doing.
Right. So we giving you guys some key games. We giving you guys some key players. What is their record for 2021, Tori?
I have them going 11-6 on the year. So I do believe that I have them going 4-2 in the division. I believe I have them beating the Niners twice. Yeah. Just because you're basically playing in your own backyard at that point. So I'm going 4-2 in the division. I have them losing to the Seahawks on the road. I have them losing to the Cardinals on the road. I have them losing to the Packers. I have them losing to the Ravens. I do believe I have them losing to the Giants too, just because of that whole heading to the East Coast thing. Yeah. And then I have them losing to the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I actually had them going 10-7, 4-2 in the division. They're obviously sweeping the Arizona Cardinals this season, as we broke down earlier. It's just this division is so good from top to bottom that if there was an extra wild card team in there, all 4 teams from this division could make it into the playoffs and be a threat.
100%.
Yeah, so just because they are 10-7 and the Cardinals are 9-8, that's because they're battling each other in the division, and you're almost guaranteed 3 losses almost in that division. So with that being said, Tori, are the Rams your division champions?
They are not.
They are not. Okay, so we have
at 11-6. They are my 3rd place team at 11-6.
So that tells you what we're about to bear here in the NFC West here. So, Tori, we are going to take a quick little break. I got some major allergies building up in my body, and I just need to let it out. So we are going to cut to break a little bit early. And after the break, guys, we are going to play a new game here. It is called Sports Improv. Tori, explain to people what Sports Improv is going to be about.
So if you've watched the TV show, Whose Line Is It Anyways? Essentially, we're going to do the exact same thing, except we're just going to give each other the scenario, and we're going to do like 30 seconds. You got to come up with, and it can be real, it can be fictional, whatever you want to do. You can be serious, you can be goofy. We just want to see how it goes.
All right, guys. So that is going to be Sports Improv here. So basically, it's going to be between me and Tori here, and in the chat, you guys just got to let us know who wins over here on YouTube.com, #Buck or #Tori, and we'll vote for the winner at the end of the show here. So let's go ahead and jump to break as we go jump into Sports Improv. After this, we're right back.
ManHourRadio.com.
Man Hour Nation brought to you by Brooks Roofing and Siding. Contact them at 812-868-7663 or online at brooksroofingin.com. Brooks Roofing and Siding, protection you need when nature strikes.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Tori Anderson. It's time for some sports improv, but if you missed any part of the show whatsoever, missed your favorite NFC West breakdowns, head over to youtube.com/Man Hour and it'll upload the clips first thing tomorrow, 8 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. That's all East Coast time. We will upload each and every team. So if you simply hit the bell icon when you subscribe to it, you will get the notification when it is live. So, Tori, it is time for some sports improv. This is going to be a new game that we're going to test out and just kind of, it's obviously fine-tuning because we literally just made this game up like an hour ago. We didn't make it up. We were like, hey, let's go ahead and try this and see what happens. So
when it's an epic fail, you can just blame me because it was my idea.
Yeah, but like we're all a team here, so this is the time of year where we try new stuff and we're trying new stuff. So if it fails, it fails. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So it's not going to fail because we are the best band sports show on the radio planet. What does Holm say? Man, I messed that up, man.
the best damn nation planet sports.
Yeah. The fun fact, the Earth is flat, so we are literally the only people that matter at all. So, Tori, do you want to go first or do you want to go second?
I'll go first since I made this cockamamie idea up.
Okay.
That's a big word for me on a Wednesday. My head hurts. I got to go lay down.
Can you spell that? Is it COCK?
CEO, shut the hell up.
Your Milwaukee Brewers are playing tonight, playing against my Kansas City Royals. Royals did win last night, and they're up right now 2-1 as well. Fun fact here. So I want you to give me a 30-second play-by-play, or 30-second improv of the Brewers versus the Royals. Good luck.
We got Salvi Perez up at the plate. Corbin Burns on the mound, towing the rubber. Finally walked his first batter. He hadn't walked so many batters. I thought he was a fat guy sitting on the couch. He wasn't walking very far at all. Salvi Perez just went yard, making it 2-1. Royals over the Brewers. Oh, Brewers come to bat. And we struck out again. And again. And again. Strike 3. Strike 6. Strike 9. Strike 12. Oh, we put up 2 or less runs again. Way to screw the pooch, Brewers. Way to screw the pooch. You can't say that on the air.
You can't say that on the radio.
Who gives a shit? Nobody's listening anyways.
No, nobody's listening. So Tori gave us a little improv Brewers versus Royals here. So I am going to give my little improv as soon as Tori gives me his thing here. But let's go ahead and jump for the Drew chat here. Drew says Royals. He's like, just a bit outside. Just a bit outside. And Major League is by far the best movie ever. It's like, I think the wind caught that. I think the wind caught that one. You realize you're running a dome, right? That's
too high. That's too high. It's not too high, too far. Who gives a shit? It's gone.
All right. Give me the scenario here for.
All right. I am going to have you call the 9th inning of Spencer Turnbull's no-hitter last night.
So you guys that don't know, he was the pitcher for the Tigers, right? And he pitched against the Twins, was it?
No, the Mariners last night.
Mariners. That's right. Mariners. All righty. So, all right, guys, we're in the bottom of the 9th here. It's been a real doozy today. We have 0 hits for the Mariners. It's really exciting. This guy Turner has just been hitting all of his marks, and ever since Hoffy, the baseball lucky himself, put the Mariners up in the top 5 power rankings, we haven't done shit since then. So thank you, Hoffy, for jinxing the boys here. And Turnbull just threw another strike. Imagine that. And we are looking again, because that is all we've been doing all night, boys. We have literally looked at 97 pitches right down the middle, and we have hit none of them. Imagine that. The Mariners, we have just been very, very disrespectful this year. And quite frankly, there is a pitch outside and called third strike. Imagine that. This umpire is shit. It goes 3 inches outside the box, but they're still calling it a strike. But for some reason, this box is not a strike zone. It's just for our figment of our imagination. So luckily for us, he doesn't have a perfect game happen. It's just a no-hitter. And, next guy comes up the bat, and he just swings 3 times at one pitch, and he sits down. Man, we are great. Turnbull throws a no-hitter versus our Mariners. Man, I just fuck it. I'm going to bed.
I just like it because I like doing off the cuff stuff. So it's like, yeah. And I could keep forgetting we can swear now because we're not on the radio.
We are on Big XN. So actually, guys, we are back on Big X Sports Radio. Fun fact here, our contract has been worked out, and we are live back on Big X Sports Radio every Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. East Coast time, bigxsportsradio.com, 96.1 FM. So I forgot to tell you guys that, but yeah, I mean, that contract has finally been worked itself out, and we are good to go. So, Tori, I want to give you another improv here, okay? So we've done baseball. Now it's time to do some football, okay? So the Chiefs and Packers play, week 9 this season, I do believe, at Arrowhead? Is it week 9 or week 10? It's the weekend before Thanksgiving.
9.
Yeah, so whatever. Packers travel to Arrowhead.
Arrowhead.
So I want you to call the opening first drive here, but the Packers don't have Aaron Rodgers. Blake Bortles is their quarterback.
Wow. Here we are at Arrowhead Stadium. It's so freaking loud, I can't even hear myself think. I'm not even sure you guys can hear me. I really don't care if you can or not. Packers receive the opening kickoff. Chiefs defense comes onto the field. Blake Bortles, the immortal, coming to lead this Green Bay Packers to glory. First play, Packers lined up in the I formation. You got Devontae to the right. You got Alan Lazard to the left. You Tanyan in motion. They drop back. Handoff to Edge. Oh, 3-yard loss. Where did the Honey Badger come from? How did he get in the backfield that quick? That's a 3-yard loss for Aaron Jones on the very first play. Let's talk. Let's take a look at our starters right again. Who the frick put Blake Bortles in as a starter anyways? Is that guy even an NFL quarterback? I thought he was in the CFL. Anyway, nobody cares. This season's going to be terrible. Oh, so now we got 2nd and 13, 3 wide. Got Devontae in motion. Bortles drops back and drops the football. Recovered his own fumble. So at least he's got that going for him. So now we're looking at 3rd and 19 here coming up. So now we got 5 wide, empty backfield. And Blake Bortles going into the shotgun, takes a snap, and it is 6-0 Chiefs. Pick 6. Looks like the Honey Badger took that one straight to the house. Stopped, made breakfast, waved at Bortles and said, thanks, and ran it into the house. This is going to be a long season, folks. Thank God for Blake Bortles. Hello, number 1 pick.
That was pretty good. I mean, we had to throw some Blake Bortles in there since rumors are that Aaron Rodgers will not be in Packerland here. So for those you guys that just tuned in here, we're doing some sports improv here. Let us know who is having the better improv. Hashtag Tory, hashtag Buck in the game. Also, let us know in the thoughts of what you think of this new game as well. So, Tory, let's go ahead and wrap up this segment. Give me one more improv situation.
You're going to decide the winner on this one, Buck.
Oh, yeah.
You are commenting the last 30 seconds of a tied Lakers and Golden State Warriors game, and you get to decide the outcome.
Okay. Oh, and this is the playing game, I'm assuming? Just not.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, so they play tonight at 10 o'clock, I think, East Coast.
Yeah.
So anyways, all right. So, guys, it is 135 here. 20 seconds left in the 7-8 Western Conference playing game here for the playoffs. We all know that LeBron James really loves this playing game here. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Back in 2020, but 2021, he does not like it. He is definitely not playing himself tonight. He is 2 for 45 from the field, and Steph Curry has about 16 points. So leading the way has been Anthony Davis and some unknown player from the Warriors. I think he's like the 9th guy off the bench. Let's just call him Sam Smith, just because nobody knows who he really is. And quite frankly, I could care less, because who cares about the Warriors at this point? So LeBron James is playing point guard because he loves to put teams on his back, because he is the GOAT here. Passes the half court line here, and he sits there and holds the ball, and he is Yeah, he is talking to Jamie Foxx in the crowd. He says, hey, I want to hook up with Vanessa Bryant tonight. Is there any way that you can, do some sweet moves here, Mr. Jamie Foxx? And he shoots, and he airballs. Time has expired. We are going into overtime, ladies and gentlemen. Lakers and Warriors are going into overtime because LeBron James sucks at basketball and he wants to hook up with Vanessa Bryant. That is all.
Is she dating Jamie Foxx or something?
No, I don't know. I just figured Jamie Foxx would be on the sideline because he's like a Lakers fan, like isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, I do. I got something to talk about on the after show too. Then.
Okay, perfect. So, good night, Stacy. Stacy says she's got to run. She got to pick her son.
Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time
Stacy's
to
mom
go.
has got it going on. By the way, I was trolling Stacy on Facebook, and her mom does have it going on. I'll tell you what. I could be her pool boy any day of the week here. So, guys, let us know who won that improv. Hashtag Tori, hashtag Buck. We're going to get back into the NFC West talk here right after the break here, guys. We got the 49ers and Seahawks stuff to break down. Stay tuned. Sit back, relax. Grab a beer. Have a good time. We'll be right back after this, guys. Corey Anderson tonight. This is Man Hour. If you missed any part of the show whatsoever, you can find us on youtube.com/Man Hours. Upload the clips each and every day, 5 to 6 times a day. You will get something new from us about every 3 hours starting at 8 a.m. East Coast time. You can also find us on podcast form, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and now Amazon Music. Thanks to Mr. Tori Anderson, because that was his podcast of choice. I'm like, okay, well, Tori, I got you, and I hooked him up. So Amazon Music is right where it is at. So, fun fact, Tori, you have not subscribed to Amazon Music with the Man Hour Sports Talk. What's that all about?
I'm going to show how old I am here. I don't even know how.
It's all good. It's all good. But if you guys are on iTunes, if you guys would give us a ranking, that would be fantastic. You know, to give us a honest ranking of so we can improve the show, because we are always trying to improve the show and add things and do things different, because we don't want to be the same old people and follow suit what ESPN does or what this person over here does. Like, we are our own people, Tori, and we try to think outside the box and step out those boundaries and push those limits each and every day with segments of like what the and would you rather and liar. Like, you guys don't see that anywhere else but here on the Man Hour, because we are consistently trying to keep our fans engaged here in the chat, music talk, you know, normal banter, and then of course we got to bring in the sports talk as well. Well,
how do you spell our name?
It's Man Hour Sports Talk is where you can find us on all the podcast form. So it is time to jump back into the 2021 predictions. We have broken down 2 teams of the NFC West here, but it is time to get into the third team, alphabetical order, the San Francisco 49ers, Tori. So when you look at their 17-game schedule here, week 1, they're on the road at Ford Field versus the Detroit Lions. If you want to get a fan base triggered, say that the offensive line for the Detroit Lions suck, and you will get those triggered 100%. And then the week 18 matchup, they're back on the road again playing the LA Rams. So they start with a road game and they end with a road game, and they have a stupid early bye week. Meaning there are 4 weeks that I do not want a bye week. That's week 4, week 5, week 6, and week 16. I do not want a bye week those weeks at all. But Tori, what game on their roster really just like pops out at you and like, man, that is going to be a make or break for the San Francisco 49ers this season?
I'm going to go with their week 3 matchup against the Packers.
Homer.
Because I actually have them winning this game.
Yeah.
Because the Niners own the Packers lately. And it's going to be a great confidence booster game for them. For whatever reason, the Packers suck on the West Coast. They are not good. I don't care where they play. They are probably going to lose a game if they play in LA, San Francisco. Those are the only 2 now because San Diego is now LA. So,
yeah.
But every time they go out there, they struggle. They play fine in Seattle. They play fine in Arizona. For whatever reason, they suck in the state of California. But I
doesn't like California.
That's because he's from California.
I know he doesn't like it.
So I think it's a great early season matchup for them. So I would take them over the Green Bay Packers, and I have that actually as one of the Green Bay Packers losses this year.
Okay, so the game that really pops out to me for one is the Week 6 bye week, because last year we saw that injury bug bite the 49ers in the butt last year. And I've been on record saying that if the San Francisco 49ers are healthy, they are a Super Bowl caliber type of team. So I want to put that out there. So with that being said, I got that Week 11 game circled. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they travel to Jacksonville, travel to Florida, and that heat and the sea level and the time change. It's a Sunday morning game, or it's a Sunday game, right? So I believe it's a 1:00 game. And I am a big advocate of traveling from West Coast to East Coast. You are going to lose. I believe the stats are 70% of the teams that travel from West Coast to East Coast and play that 1:00 game lose that game. I mean, we saw it last year. The Seattle Seahawks, they were cooking. I think they were undefeated, and they went to Miami, and the Miami Dolphins about beat them. Granted, we did not know that the Miami Dolphins were going to be that good that early, but I digress on that. But I got that game circled just because there's always that one game that you always just forget to show up. And I think this is a Jacksonville Jaguars statement game. This is a Trevor Lawrence. This is a ETN game. Like this is where they finally learn the NFL game, and I think this is where they shine, because that San Francisco 49 defense is pretty damn good. So I had that game circled as a, quote, trap game, and I actually had them losing this game to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Is there any other games that you want to pop out and kind of...
I'm just going to go with the last 5 weeks of their schedule.
Yeah.
They play 3 of their last 5 on the road. And again, going West Coast to East Coast. They're going at Cincinnati, at Tennessee. And then they get the Rams. There's not really a time difference, but still you're going on the road against a very dangerous Rams team, and your 2 home games are, I believe, what's going to be a very dangerous Falcons team this year that not a lot of people are looking at. But then you have the Texans, which is almost like having another bye week this year.
I see, and I think the exact opposite of the Texans. I think they are going to play that chip on their shoulder. They are going to be playing that spoiler role like all year. Like, hey, just like the movie Major League, you guys are going to win just despite the ownership, right? So I kind of see that in the Houston Texans a little bit here. But one thing that has been really concerning to me, like really playing in my head, is they drafted a quarterback first overall in Trey Lance.
For number 3 overall.
well, their
First round. Yep.
Yeah. So and their bye week is so early in the season. Do you think if Jimmy G and the San Francisco 49ers struggled that first 5 weeks, they're 1-4, 2-3 type of situation, do you hear rumblings of Trey Lance come week 5 and that bye week they make that move and put Trey Lance in there?
No, I don't. I think they see they're playing the long game. They're playing long-term value. Why destroy a young quarterback's confidence and all that stuff by throwing him in there to the Wolves? Let him sit. Let him learn. Because even watching, if Jimmy G goes in there and plays terrible, he's still learning things. He's learning what not to do. If Jimmy G goes in and plays great, he's learning the good things about what to do. The thing is by the time that kid steps on the field, and this is why I hate when teams are like, "Oh, we drafted a quarterback, let's throw him in there," and that's why in my humble opinion, it's why we see a lot more busts than we do booms at quarterback. Your Peyton Mannings, your Tom Brady's, your Justin Herberts, and stuff like that are far and few between. I mean, even Russell Wilson. For every one of them, there's a Jamarcus Russell. There's a Todd Marinovich. There's Todd Marinovich was a quarterback in the 90s for the Raiders.
I was being a smart ass bust.
Yeah. But that's where I think organizations are going a little bit more old school, where if you win the job, you win the job. However, if you're not ready, we're not going to put you out there either.
Right.
So I like the mentality of that. And with their GM, with John Lynch, with Kyle Shanahan as their coach, I don't think they're going to do anything to jeopardize their young quarterback's confidence that early on. Yes, they have a shiny new toy to play with, but they want to read the instruction manual and learn the best way to use that shiny new toy as well.
So, I'm glad you said that, because last night I kept trying to butt into our own show because Wyatt and Combs were dominating the conversation about the whole Justin Fields thing. And I said, let him sit, because the Kansas City Chiefs, they let Patrick Mahomes sit, and the offensive coordinator was with the Kansas City Chiefs with the whole Patrick Mahomes thing. Now he is with the Bears. And I'm glad you said that. You are okay of letting a quarterback sitting a year and learning. Don't throw him into the Wolves and crush the confidence. I think that's why the Chicago Bears drafted Andy Dalton, was to let because they knew they were going to get a quarterback in the draft and letting him sit there. So digressing back that and transferring back over to the 49ers here, I think come week 5, week 6, we are going to hear the media, Tori, we are part of the media now. I think we are going to be here on the Man Hour when the 49ers go 2-3, and Jimmy G just isn't performing. Why not put Trey Lance in there? I can see it. I can see it now. Combs and Wyatt are going to be on Trey Lance's nuts and just he has the biggest upside. The 49ers are 1-4. Jimmy G has 15 interceptions in the first 5 weeks. Yada yada yada. You have to put the kid in. Yada yada yada. There's a reason why the 49ers extended his contract with the no trade clause till 2023. I think they are 100% convinced that Trey Lance is their guy, but it is going to be a Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers situation there. Let him sit 2, 3, maybe even 4 years, and then let him get his feet wet.
Let him play. Yeah, let him play in spot duty. The thing is the track record of quarterbacks that have done that is a lot better than the ones that have been thrown out there. Steve McNair. Mm-hmm. His first 3 years in the league played in spot duties. They would come up with a couple of little quarterback option plays for him here and there. They let him throw, but they would let him play 1 or 2, maybe 3 plays a game just to get his feet wet a little bit, but nothing to rattle his confidence. Aaron Rodgers literally just sat because, Favre just never got hurt.
Right.
So, and
he was Iron Man for a reason, right?
Right. So, and Aaron sat and learned. And as much as people want to make a big deal about their relationship, he still learned.
Right. And
he has said that I learned things from Brett that I would have probably never learned from anybody else. And he's kind of has the same mentality as Brett is. yes, this is a business. I know they brought somebody in to eventually take my job, but still, that doesn't mean that, they can't sit and watch and sit and learn. I'm not going to actively be like,
Right.
this, and this, which I think Aaron does that no matter what, because if you look at the quarterback rooms that the Packers have always had, he's always very close with the other quarterbacks.
Right.
So I think he does impart his wisdom on all of them and tries to show them the right way. I just think Jordan Love is not going to be a good quarterback. But
and what people fail to understand, it is just not like you're just sitting there watching film. You are going through reps and practices. You are the scout team quarterback. So in theory, you are getting game time reps every week. Sometimes even more reps than the starting quarterback, just because sometimes they want to limit his reps in practice and hits and like all this stuff. So I mean, Trey Lance is getting his feet wet those 2-3 years that he could be possibly sitting for the San Francisco 49ers. It just on Sunday he has a headset on. He's hearing what they're communicating back and forth, and he is seeing it live.
And again, one of the best defenses in the league that he's going to learn from. He's going to learn what not to do real quick in practice.
Exactly.
Because if you make a mistake against that defense, they're going to make you pay.
So speaking of the top defense, Nick Bosa is back after that. I believe it was a ACL, wasn't it? That
yep.
like he tore. Do you see Nick Bosa going back into form, or is there a process? Week 5, week 6, we finally see him at 100%.
If this was 10 years ago, I would say maybe week 5 or 6, because a lot of guys are hesitant on that knee. I don't get it. I don't see how that does, because when I had my ACL done, it's like I was walking without crutches within 2 weeks. And
you are able to walk. It is just a confidence factor. Like, do you have confidence?
Absolutely.
Of exploding off the knee? Yeah.
Right. And, I was determined to get that knee back to where I wanted it to be, because obviously I had a very physical job at the time. So
right.
I hate the term sink or swim, but I've used it like 5 times already tonight. And, but that's kind of it with that kind of injury, with that knee. It's sink or swim. Like, do you have confidence in it or not? And I guarantee you, I don't want to say his trainers were better or his surgeons were better, because my doctor actually was the U.S. Olympic ski team doctor, and he did Bruce Smith's ACL when he tore his. So I was in pretty good hands. So I don't know. I think it's all about the confidence for him. The kid's got an overflowing amount of confidence the way it is. All them Bosa boys do. So I think he's going to come back just as a madhouse. He's going to be rearing at it. If anything, they're going to have to try to limit him rather than him, being tentative. I think they're going to have to limit him and try to be like, slow down,
Yeah, 100%. So let's go ahead and jump into the records here. I actually had the San Francisco 49ers going 9-8 on the season, 3-3 in the division, but most importantly, 6-6 in the NFC. So I don't think they might make the playoffs. Like, we haven't picked them all the games yet, so I don't know where it's going to fall. But if they do, I don't see them going past that first round, unfortunately. What is your record for the San Francisco 49ers this season?
So they're my 4th place team. I have them going 8-9 this year.
Yeah.
Because I figure at some point Jimmy G will probably miss 3 to 4 games. It just seems to be his MO, and they will not put Trey Lance in there. They'll probably sign a veteran and have them start for a couple of games. I mean,
well, they still have that Nate Studfield guy and Josh Rosen on the roster. Yeah.
No, Nate Mullins, isn't it?
Per ESPN, it's Nate Studfield is who they got.
It's Studfield,
Yeah, Mullins got cut, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Mullins. I think Mullins got picked up by somebody else.
Yeah. So you had them going 8-9, and I had them going 9-8. So we are not far off. It is just one game or the other here. So we are going to go ahead and move on to the next team.
Oh, they have Josh.
Brought to you by Brooks Roofing and Siding.
Oh, my bad.
Contact them at 812-868-7663
No
or
biggie.
online at brooksroofingin.com.
What were you saying
Brooks
before
Roofing and
you
Siding.
interrupted
Protection you need
your
when nature strikes.
yourself?
So they actually have Josh Rosen on their roster as well, too.
Yeah.
So I didn't hear you say that. Yeah. So if anything, I would think Rosen probably. I don't want to say if Jimmy G goes down. It's just a matter of when Jimmy G goes down. So I would think that they probably start Rosen at that point. It's like I said, you're not going to sacrifice your quarterback.
Josh Rosen has got the raw end of the deal ever since he left. I mean, he was a starter in Arizona. I thought he did well. He got cut because of the whole Kyler Murray, or no, he got traded because of the whole Kyler Murray.
Get traded, Kyler. Yeah,
he got traded to Miami. Didn't play. I think he maybe started a game or two there, and they're like, no, you suck. Like, you aren't our guy. And then he got cut, picked up by the Buccaneers. He was on the practice squad for the Bucs, and then now he's in San Francisco. And this is like his third year in the league. He 4 teams in 3 years is absolutely, like, it doesn't make sense to me because he was what, like was he the second quarterback off the board like that? Like
yeah,
that
he was the the number 10. He was the number 10 pick.
Yeah, he
so
never
it was
got
the
a first shot.
2018 draft.
Absolutely stupid, but. With that being said, I wish ill will on the Arizona Cardinals every year because they fired a first-year head coach and they released a first-year quarterback just because they wanted Lincoln Riley and Kyler Murray. Absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
But moving on, the final team here in the NFC West, we had the Seattle Seahawks. You know, Russ Cook's about 8 weeks of the year, and then he is on cruise mode for the rest of the season and doesn't do too hot. So week number 1, they open up at Indianapolis, and week 18, they are on the road versus the division foe of Arizona Cardinals. So looking at their no. Let's talk about their off-season woes first. First of all, Russell Wilson has been adamant that he wants line protection and he wants out of Seattle if he doesn't get line protection. They had 3 draft picks this season. You said they nailed the draft for like what they had, but they didn't get any offensive linemen. The offensive lineman depth that they did have is now in jail because he tried to kill his ex-girlfriend or fiance. So first things first, is Russell Wilson going to be in a Seattle Seahawks uniform after June 1st?
I think so. I think he'll still be there. Russell is the consummate team guy, and what's his name? Pete Carroll. Yep. I had to completely blank Pete Carroll's name for about 5 seconds there. Pete Carroll has a way of appeasing his players. He is very, very much a player's coach. So I do think he will be there. He'll be like, Russ, this is what we got going on. This is what we're going to do. Da, 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 da. I mean, but there again, outside of Dwayne Brown, the rest of that, Gabe Jackson's pretty good too. But the rest of that offensive line just doesn't inspire a whole lot of confidence in me.
Right.
So unless Pete Carroll's like, hey, we're just going to play with a rolling pocket for 90% of the time we throw, but we've talked about that too. If you have a defender sniff that out, your quarterback's a wide open target because they're going to heat seek in and destroy your quarterback before any lineman can get out into that rolling pocket. So I do think he'll be there. I think that what they're going to probably do is wait to see that final cut down. Every year, a big name surprise, oh my God, I can't believe they cut him, will probably get cut. They'll have a lineman get cut, and they will probably sign them, be like, see, this is what we're trying to do for you. But I don't know what their cap situation's like. I didn't look at what their cap situation is.
Yeah, me neither.
So I don't know. I don't know how much money they have to tinker with and how much money to play with. But that would be my sneaking suspicion, that they go out and they get somebody that got cut that you didn't absolutely think would get cut.
Right. So with that being said, what game pops off that schedule for you?
Again, like with them, it's a stretch of games. They have to go. Schedule. A lot of people are high on the Colts. I am not one of them. And there again, I think the Colts are primed for not having a great season. I think the Titans are going to regress. But then you go at Minnesota, at San Francisco, the Rams, and then at Steelers. That is a tough 4-week stretch right there.
Right.
That could make or break your season right there. However, if first half Russ shows up, they probably come through that relatively unscathed. If second half Russ shows up, they could be out of playoff contention by then. I have the personal belief, though, that they will weather it rather well.
Interesting. So I have that Week 12 matchup circled on the schedule here. It is a Monday night game. The Seahawks travel to the East Coast, take on the Washington football team / Redbird / Red Tail / whatever name they're entertaining like at this particular moment. But going into this Week 12 matchup, I have the Seahawks sitting at 7-3. As I do have the Seahawks winning this Week 12 matchup versus the Washington football team, they are almost exposed. Like the football team shows you how to defeat the Seahawks without defeating them, if that makes sense. So they're going to lay that blueprint out, put pressure on Russ, send 6-7 guys at him every play, let the corners man up and let Russ's arm beat you. And at this point, second half, Russ has showed up. He is starting to force the ball where it doesn't belong. He's throwing a lot of interceptions. He's getting frustrated. You can kind of see the team starting to implode on it, like implode on itself. And then looking forward, that week 13 game, they play the 49ers, and then they play a sneaky good Houston team. I think they're going to be sneaky good. And then they play the Rams, Bears, Lions, and the Cardinals to finish out the season. So after starting the season 7-3, I have them splitting the last 6 games of the season just because of that Monday night game versus the Washington football team, because the blueprint is out there. So that's the one game that I have circled. Is there any other games that you have circled?
No, the end of the season game at the Cardinals. I believe that game comes down just because of the way I have the records. Yeah. That's the game for the division. And I do believe I have the Cardinals winning that game to pull even with the Seahawks at 12-5 and take the division from the Seahawks.
So you had the Seahawks going 12-5 this season.
I do.
So I had them going 10-7, same as the Rams. So that Week 15 matchup that I have circled as well, the Seahawks travel to LA to take on the Rams. That is going to be for the division title. So that Week 12 and the Week 15 matchup. So later in the season is those are the 2 games that I have circled here. So you said you have the Seahawks going 12-5, winning the division, right?
Second place in the division.
Second place.
So Arizona steals it from them that last week.
Okay. That's right. I heard it, but I didn't comprehend it. So I actually had the Seahawks at second place as well at 10-7, but they lose it to the Rams Week 15. So I actually have the Rams winning the NFC West this year at 10-7. So going in order here, I have the Rams at first place, Seahawks at second, 49ers at third, and then the Cardinals coming in at last place. But they're all winning teams, all within 1 game of each other. So I have 8-9 and 10-7 records in the division. What about you?
So I have the top 3 all within a game of each other, and then I have the Niners bringing up the rear end of it. But they're again 8-9. If you go 8-9 in that division, that's a division champion. The teams you're playing there, if you're in any other division, you're probably going, you're looking at 11 or 12 wins yourself. But it all comes down because I have like the Niners going 2-4 in the division. So I got the Rams going 3-3 in the division. I got the Seahawks going 3-3, and I got I do have the Cardinals going 4-2 in the division. So I actually had that backwards. I think I'd said that I had the Rams going 4-2 and the Cardinals going 3-3. So I actually had that flipped. So yeah, but I have the Rams at 12-5, the Seahawks 12-5, Rams at 11-6. I have all 3 of those teams making the playoffs, and then
then
I have the Niners.
Noise in the playoffs. Then
I do not.
Okay,
just because
we will break down the playoffs soon. I'm just curious.
Well, and similar to what happened to the Packers in the NFC Championship game, they held up against the Rams without Bakhtiari, and it came time for that Tampa Bay game. They got exposed at left tackle for not having Bakhtiari in there, and they brought pressure all day long, and that's what cost the Green Bay Packers that game.
So let me ask you this question here. This is kind of put yourself in a Seattle Seahawks fan's perspective here. So, Mr. Torrey Anderson, you are a Seattle Seahawks fan. You are part of the 12th Man Nation. You are rocking your blue and silver and lime green.
I just threw up in my mouth a little bit by you saying that.
Russell, every year he seems to start out hot. 7-0, 6-0, 8-0, and then he fizzles off toward the end of the season. They in their first round playoff exit, kind of habitually since they lost that Super Bowl versus the Patriots. What year is that? Like 2016 they lost that, or I think it was. I can't.
2000, you should have ran the damn ball.
Right. So since you know that Russ is going to start hot, 8-0, and then you're going to split 500 the rest of the season, and you're going to lose a playoff game, would you rather just be horrible and get a good draft pick, or do you want to make it to the playoffs? Like, oh, we still have a shot. Like, as a Seahawks fan, excuse me, what do you like? What would you want to do?
Again, speaking as a fan, like if I'm putting myself in their shoes, I would rather make it to the playoffs and lose, because again, it's the playoffs. You have a chance. So what is it? The one guy, who is the guy saying it's harder to win an NBA title than a Super Bowl?
Oh, who was that? That was stupid. Who was that guy?
Yeah, I can't remember who, but it was the
probably
other day.
Stephen A.
But
Smith's little whack ass.
no, it was a player. It was
Yeah.
an NBA player, and like the one NFL guy fired back at him and said, "You have the ability to lose a game in the playoffs. We don't."
Right.
So you tell me what is harder. The good team's always going to end up usually winning a 7-game series.
Right.
Any team in the NFL can have an off day and you're out of the playoffs. So
not even a team.
really
let's say a defensive player has a off game, Kevin King, and they expose him in the second half. One player out of a 52 roster could affect it, and there's nothing you can do because you play offense. It's just so. It's definitely harder to win a Super Bowl, hands down. So you are, yeah. I mean, if you look at it historically, the New York Giants, Eli Manning and them won their Super Bowl when they snuck into the playoffs. Right, they're 8-8 or 7-9. I think even one year.
Them and the Indianapolis Colts, when they won their one with Peyton, that your defense got hot at the right time. And you look at like those teams like that, their defenses were statistically terrible those years.
Yeah. And
then all of a sudden, towards the end of the season, they started playing a little bit better. Playoffs rolled around, they unleashed. So, with the old saying for me holds up well, defense wins championships, because they got hot at the right time, played well as a unit, and it carried them right to a title.
Kansas City Chiefs also come to recent memory when they won their Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
First 10 weeks of the season, defense was complete trash. I believe the last 6 weeks of the season, they were the number one ranked defense, and then carried on through the playoffs and into the Super Bowl. So, I mean, defense still wins championships 100%. So, Tori, we are going to take our last break of the night, and we are going to open up the phone lines and jump into Shop Talk here. So we do have some questions that I have queued up to ask during Shop Talk. But if you guys want to call in as well, you can call in at 812-406-8384. So we'll be right back here, guys, on the Man Hour.
Man Hour Nation brought to you by Brooks Roofing and Siding. Contact them at 812-868-7663 or online at brooksroofingin.com. Brooks Roofing and Siding. Protection you need when nature strikes.
Hey there, Mr. White T-shirt wearer dude.
Mr. White Shirt Wearer, dude.
Do you wear the same shirt every day?
Same shirt every day.
Do you do the same thing every day?
The same thing every day.
Don't you worry, Mr. White Shirt Wearer dude. Now with Man Hour merch, you can spice up your style each and every day. From hats to beanies to shirts. We got you covered, Mr. White Shirt Wearer dude. Shop at manhourradio.com. T-shirts start as little as $15. Shop today.
Why, thank you, manhourradio.com, for this awesome merch. Hats, t-shirts, $15. You can't go wrong.
Pretty obvious in that one. Dak's coming back off. You got Tom Brady, and did I mention 22 starters coming back?
When I say Lamar Jackson is trash, I'm not saying he is the worst quarterback in the league, but he is definitely not the best quarterback in the league. When you say somebody is trash, it is based off the perception of the general public. Welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeye along with Tori Anderson tonight. You can find us at manhour_Buck and manhour_Tori on the old Twitter machine. You also miss any part of the show whatsoever, you can find us on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Amazon Music. If you are not a member over at youtube.com/Man Hour, click on the join button. A little 99 cents a month. You become a member. You get access to the after show, merchandise discounts, and if you're a $9.99 member, you get a hoodie. Every year you are part of the Man Hour Nation. As Drew says, Buck is letting in his inner nerd show in that commercial. So I am a nerd at heart, to be honest. Like I can do some pretty sick shit on a computer if I really want to and have the time to do it. So not to toot my own horn or anything, but
Are you gonna burn the place down? They keep moving your desk. I can burn the whole place down.
yeah, don't touch my stapler. So I am looking for that comment here before we get into shop talk here. So there it is. So let's go ahead and start off shop talk. It is brought to you by Brooks Roofing, brooksroofingin.com for all your roofing and siding needs. Go ahead and give them a shout out. Bradley Brooks does great work over there. But Drew over here in the comments there says, what team do you think would benefit most from picking up Julio Jones? So Tori, I'm going to kick it to you first.
31 other teams, because I don't care where he goes, your team's going to benefit. The guy's a consummate pro. Probably for me though, the team that could probably use him most right now would be the Las Vegas Raiders. They don't really have anything, and it would be really good for Judy. Do they have Judy or Ruggs?
They have
an Alabama receiver. Yeah, excuse me, Ruggs. I just know that they both played at Denver.
Broncos.
For Denver, yeah. But I think he would benefit Henry Ruggs a ton. To me, they're almost similar play styles. They're built very similar. The veteran presence alone there for a team that could be really good would probably put them over the top to a team that could be, or that is really good. The Raiders are kind of an unknown at this point. I'm leaning towards them, the Raiders being the Raiders, like the Jets being the Jets.
Yeah.
So I would think though that kind of name, that kind of talent would kind of put that offense over the top.
Right. So I'm going to iterate what you said. I'm going to give a waffle answer and say 31 other teams in the NFL. Actually, 32 other teams in the NFL. The Falcons could definitely use Julio Jones if they could afford him. But I'm going to give you 3 teams here that I think he would absolutely astronomically, some other big word that I probably can't pronounce and use correctly, that he would help.
Unequivocally?
Yeah, there you go. That he would help the rookie quarterbacks succeed that much faster in the NFL. That is the New York Jets. That is the Jacksonville Jaguars and the LA Chargers. I think if he were to go to any 3 of those teams, you would see their quarterback play elevate to a level that is going to be 5, 6, 7 years down the road in year 1 and year 2. Just because Julio has been around the block. He has played with Matt Ryan, a pretty damn good quarterback, and Julio Jones knows what he wants from a quarterback. So if he were to talk to them and say, "Hey, us receivers that are good, this is how we want the ball. When we see a cornerback playing in, I'm going to jab step in twice, and I'm going to run a quick fade. You throw it as far as you can out of bounds, and I'm going to go get it."
just because that's the type of player that Julio Jones is. Man, what, he's like 6'5", 6'6", and can jump out of a freaking gym. I mean, throw it up and let him go get it. So Jaguars, Jets, and then the LA Chargers, I think, would benefit the most from him. I'm going to go on record right here, right now. If the LA Chargers were to get Julio Jones, they win the AFC West.
Ooh, that's a pretty bold statement. It's like that is a, but him and Keenan Allen on opposite sides of each other would be every freaking defense's nightmare.
Exactly. And what defense in the AFC West could stop that? Not the Chiefs, not the Raiders, not the Broncos. They're the only way
Broncos would have the best chance.
Yeah, they would have the best chance, but still a pissing. It'd be a pissing match, just like at that point. And really, their worst enemy would be the fact that they have a rookie quarterback. I mean, he's a second year, but he's a rookie still. I mean, that would be their
be wary of the sophomore slump.
Yeah. I mean, 100% facts on that. So sticking with the Atlanta Falcons here, Matt Ryan has come out and said that he loves Julio Jones. Do you see Matt Ryan giving up some of his money to keep Julio Jones?
So let's get one thing straight. No NFL player actually gives up money.
Right.
They just restructure it so they get more of it quicker. So I could see it depending on how much money it would actually save the organization to keep a player of that caliber. They've been together pretty much their whole career. So, why not try to let them end it together as well? But as we know, fairy tale endings in the NFL rarely happen. A lot of big name players usually end up on another team for a year or two that nobody remembers that they actually played for.
Yeah. Randy Moss comes to mind. Just most recently.
Who did Randy Moss end his career with though?
It wasn't the Patriots. I think he re-signed with the Vikings, if I'm not mistaken, for a couple games, right?
No. I believe it was the Tennessee Titans.
Because I remember that particular year, he played on three. Like he was the first player ever to play like 3 games in a week or something crazy, just like that. Because he played like that Sunday game and got traded Monday and played that Monday night. And then played the Thursday night game too, or it was something ridiculous. I can't remember exactly, but now I don't have these numbers written down because this is all shop talk. This is straight off the dome, and this is from people from the chat here. If I remember correctly, the reason why that the Falcons are in the situation that they're in with the cap space with Julio Jones is not because of the contracts, it's because all of the dead money hit on the cap. So they would have to cut some players, which the whole June 1st deadline is absolutely stupid. Like you can't, if you cut it before June 1st is a dead hit cap, but if you do it after, it's not. I don't really understand that.
It has something to do with the bonus money and the roster bonuses after the league year starts, and again, bean counters that are way smarter than you or I.
Right. So I don't think Matt Ryan restructuring his contract, Julio Jones restructuring his contract is going to give the Falcons the cap space to be able to keep Julio Jones and Matt Ryan. I think it is all dead hit money on the cap, if I'm not mistaken. So guys, definitely correct me if I'm wrong on that, because that's what this is all about. And usually Jameson is really the guy that does that for us, but he is not in here tonight. So let's go ahead and jump over here to the chat one more time here. Drew says Raiders the only team to beat the Chiefs last year, and Carr is doing really, really well. So fun fact, I don't think the Chiefs have swept the Raiders in back-to-back seasons ever. So the Chiefs obviously swept the division with the year they won the Super Bowl, and then the next year they lost to the Raiders week 3, wasn't it? Yeah. So, yeah.
I don't know. I remember watching the game like, holy crap, the Raiders are going to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, and it was a shootout too. It was like 45 to 35. So yeah, but yeah,
it was a crazy ending to that game.
The problem with the Raiders is they have never bought into Carr for whatever reason. John Gruden in that Las Vegas, who is the owner? It's not Al Davis, but
Mark Davis.
Mark Davis. They have not put their eggs in the backseat for Carr for whatever reason, and I don't know why. Every year he comes out and he does his best. Like Derek Carr does not lose you games. He wins you 1 or 2 games that he shouldn't win, but he doesn't lose you games that you should win. So, I mean, he has been consistent for you guys. He has gone through the gauntlet. He's gone through the John Gruden coaching change and all these trade rumors. You guys brought in Marcus Mariota last year. Many people expected Marcus, to take over the starting job come mid-season, but Derek Carr just continued to improve. And like, you know, looking back on it, Tori, he might be a top 12 quarterback in the NFL right now. Maybe even top 10.
I wouldn't go top 10, but I might give you top 12. Derek Carr gets slept on a lot because he plays with the Raiders. And there again, it's like I said, his receiving cast is not great.
No.
He has Henry Ruggs, who was a rookie last year. What's his Edwards? Brian Edwards.
The only Edwards I can think of is Braylon Edwards, and he's like in jail for child molestation or something, isn't he?
I don't know if he is. No, are you thinking of Winslow? I think you're thinking of Kellen Winslow Jr.
Oh, yeah. There you go. But the Raiders drafted nothing but receivers last year.
And then they have Hunter Renfrow, who is actually not terrible, but he's still young yet too. So that's where I say like the Julio thing. Julio
Brian Edwards is his name.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I couldn't remember for sure if it was Brian Edwards or not. But that's where I say like a Julio trade to that receiving core for as young as that is, and there's some talent there.
Yeah.
But there's just no household name. Ruggs is a household name because he played for Bama. And if he's not a superstar in 2 years, nobody's going to remember his name.
Right.
So.
And they do have Willie Snead on the roster now, and Willie Snead played for the Steelers, and he was kind of a big deal, right?
Snead played for the Saints. Yeah, he started his career with the Saints.
Oh, Saints.
Yeah, and he did. He's kind of a sneaky good receiver. He didn't have a couple of there again though. He signed with Baltimore, and we all know what Baltimore. That's like where receivers go to die. But yeah, I mean, it could be a good revival for his career as well. Willie Snead's one of those guys that never, his name, but he never got the run that you would think he would get.
Yeah, so. It just, well, he was also, was he overshadowed by Michael Thomas too much, and then he kind of got upset? Maybe. Like, do you think that's why he got the raw end of the deal? And
no, I would, because when he got there, they had Michael Thomas, and I believe Marquez Colston was still there too. So he was like the number 3 receiver there. So, and for a period, I don't know if Brandon Cooks was there at all while he was there or not.
I can't remember.
But he may have been the 4th receiver at some point too there. So, but he's always played alongside really good receivers. But he's that guy. He's not a 1 or 2 receiver. He's a 3 or a 4, but he's going to be a productive 3 or 4.
Right. Much like what Cole Beasley is for the Buffalo Bills. He would never be that number 1 guy, but he'll give you tough rawness and just that grit, like that it factor per se. But that's going to be it for tonight's show, guys. If you missed any part of it, you can check us on iTunes, iHeartRadio, and of course, youtube.com/man. We upload all the clips over there as well. The after show is getting ready to start over there at youtube.com/man. So if you are a member, I have posted the link actively here in the chat. You can click on that link and go to the after show right now. It is started. But Tori, go ahead and send us out on the right now before the after hour show starts.
Man Hour Nation, rise up.